The following is a presentation of the Retro Network.
Welcome to episode 2 of Thrift Store Horde, right here on the Retro Network. My two pals are with me again. Kevin is here, and Kevin has an actual background there.
This is 4 new bookshelves put in a V, and the graphic novels are being organized on them right now. So right up here behind me is DC, Marvel is over here. This is all Vertigo right now. And I already running out of space. And this is just graphic novels. So then I've been putting random things up here too. I got Dawn up here. I love these new Marvel figures. They're like 3 3/4 inch, but they only make like 4 per wave. This episode of Wizard fell out, so I don't know. I just haven't done anything with that yet. Weird. It's this specific one too. I don't know.
And Adam, of course, is here. Hello,
howdy,
Adam.
howdy. Who's got the junk in the trunk? Me. Lots of junk. Many trunks.
He's a man of many trunks.
I'm inching up there on you. I don't know how many trunks I officially have, but it's quite a bit. And it's, of course, it's Jason here. I recently was on I call it my drivecation, a vacation for a week where we drive from Alabama up to Pennsylvania to visit my family and all points in between. We put 2,700 miles on the van.
Jeez.
That is a long, trip. Anyway, luckily, my wife, which I'm still writing the book, Kevin, on how to convince your wife to get into thrifting. Anyway,
I still need help.
I'm working on it. Anyway, we stopped at a ton of thrift stores kind of along the way. And at home, I was just surprised at how well our Goodwills are up there. And I think I stumbled onto like a distribution center because I punched in Goodwills and we get to Du Bois, Pennsylvania. And there's like this huge building, 25 cars in the parking lot. I'm like, this is going to be the greatest experience ever. I walk in, there's no store. So I think this was like stuff that's collected all over, and they're pushing to all these Goodwills locally up there in Pennsylvania. And I was impressed with several that we visited. Also visited a department store converted to a antique mall, you'll say. 5 floors. This was a department store called Lightsingers in my hometown, and there's only 3 now that's accessible. The elevator doesn't work, so I don't know how they get the furniture upstairs. I guess they have some kind of freight elevator. But anyway, that was a really fun experience. So we had a great time. Just we hit thrift stores in Kentucky and Virginia, and I mean, it was almost like a tour of thrift stores. So I got tons of stuff. Let me throw it over to Kevin. And what have you been up to lately?
We haven't quite said what's going on with all this remodel stuff, but if people are following my stuff, you can probably put 2 and 2 together by now. So we're dealing with that. And then I didn't get a chance to do anything because the person who I work with all day during the day job had a medical emergency and had to have an emergency appendectomy at 55 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, isn't that something that's supposed to happen when you're a teenager? Like, shouldn't you be good by now?
No kidding.
So I've been coming home and just going to my wife. I'm like, I got nothing in me. I have nothing in me. Like, please tell me there's nothing I have to do. But you're mentioning Goodwill. We have, because we've had to do some driving lately for stuff, appointment here, meeting here, going to different cities around the area. I have yet to be in one Goodwill in my area. There are a few. I have never had luck. I have walked out of Goodwills empty. Just never had good luck at that chain here. You're right about the distribution centers, though. They absolutely decide who gets what. We don't have one for Goodwill here, but we have one for Salvation Army, and they definitely send, here's the things we sent to this town, we don't send it to another town. So you see a very big difference between towns, cities, just 10, 15 minutes away.
All right, Adam, what you been up to?
Well, I'm similar to you, Jason. I was got a road trip of late, and I hadn't seen my dad for a couple of years. My kids kept saying, "We got to go see Grandpa." So we finally got a chance to drive out and see him. So along the way, was hitting up every thrift store. Every time we'd come up on a town, the sign, says it's 20 miles away. I'm looking up on my phone. Okay, where's the closest thrift store? So we stopped in both going and coming, in either direction. We're definitely going to hit those up. And I found an awesome comic book store as well, right by my dad's house. So I'm excited to go back and visit for many reasons.
Well, that's good. Sounds like we, at least you and I, have some stuff to share. I'm sure Kevin has some stuff.
Yeah, I didn't say I'm empty.
Okay.
It's empty. Good. There's either a plethora or there's nothing lately.
I've been there, and the Goodwills locally, like I said in the first video, it just seems like you look in your areas and there might be one or two more things each time you go in there. And I've walked out many times in our Goodwills locally, but not at the one up north. Before we get into a lot of stuff, we kind of look out for each other. I know kind of what Kevin's looking for. I know what Adam's looking for. And my pal, Old School Tim, who's part of the Retro Network, sent me some singles, and I wanted to give him a shout out. He sent me about 10 of them. Ooh. And these are pretty good. Remember Blessed Union of Souls, the song, I believe, Blues Traveler, Run Around,
classic.
Linda Ronstadt, and or maybe it was just Linda, one of the 5-0
Goes West.
I would have grabbed that one too.
5-0 Goes West. How about White Men Can't Jump by Riff? Belle Biv DeVoe, a lot of R&B in there. So wanted to give a shout out to Tim. I'm looking now when I go to thrift stores for VHS tapes to send to Adam. I'm looking for comic books or something alien to send to Kevin. And it's just fun to shop. It's almost like Christmas shopping throughout the year.
Exactly. And for you too, like I'm always looking through the 45s now. I'm looking through the cassettes, but it's always stuff from the 60s. Like it's all just like, Danny Robinson's, dance music, or whoever. And so much Jack Alpert or whatever that one, Herb Alpert. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did find some singles I'll throw out there on my trip. Some more here. God Bless Texas by Little Texas. That was a huge crossover song. There's another one from the Anastasia soundtrack, and good old Michael W. Smith. Place.
I haven't heard that name in forever.
I've never heard that name. I don't even know who that is.
Christian rock.
Yeah, Christian pop. It crossed over into secular music
like
though too. But, the biggest cassette score that I got, the original California Raisins album.
I got that right over here too. That's a fun album.
Yeah, on cassette. And I made a mistake. Now, I'm going to throw this out there because I made actually 2 mistakes on this trip, and not looking through your stuff, well enough before you buy. I probably still would have bought these no matter what, but I found 2 singles in hard cases. Sinead O'Connor and Heart. I was like, weird. I've never seen singles in hard cases. Well, what I found out was they just cut up the cardboard and put in hard cases that I had left over. But I still got the tape. So I was when I saw that, I was like, this is unique that they're coming in hard cases, but that wasn't the case. But that was one mistake I made.
I'd say that's a big one. It depends on if you have it for yourself or if you're looking to flip it. If that's for yourself, the music's the same no matter what. If you're looking to flip it, someone's going to want that original sleeve.
That's right.
It just kind of depends on what your reason for buying it is.
And wrapping up music, there was an article on the Retro Network recently by Tim. That's Paul Carrick's Don't Shed a Tear. Separate Lives from the White Knight soundtrack, Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin. Midnight Oil. I love the picture sleeves, And that's what I'm looking for when I look for 45. USA for Africa. We Are the World. Okay. I had that one as a kid. But if something jumps out at me, a song I really like Beds Are Burning by Midnight Oil, I'll pick it up for $1, you know. So that was my kind of music haul. We'll turn it over to Kevin now. What you got for us?
Okay. Am I going through it all right away?
Just give us something little and we'll just kind of
something. Sorry. All right.
Yeah, something small.
Okay. So I am getting in certain things later in life, like Alien, as Jason pointed out, and building up that collection. But there's a comic I've been reading lately called The Sumerian. And they're taking the original Robert E. Howard Conan stories and adapting it word for word, all the blood, all the sex, all the violence, everything. They can't call it Conan because Marvel has the license for that, so they call it Sumerian. But now I'm like, oh my God, I actually like Conan. Where'd this come from? So now I'm digging up all these Conan stuff. So I found some of the old paperbacks, but what I didn't expect to find was Stan Lee Presents Conan the Barbarian, mass market paperback size, little thing.
Paperback.
And it's the comics.
Oh, wow.
So it's the original, like when Marvel first got the Conan license, it's cut up. It's like very different how they did it, but mass market paperback size. I was stunned when I found this. So it turns out there's a volume of these from Marvel. There's a Spider-Man one, there's a Thor one, there's a few others. And they were just, because I got a 5 right here for it. It's not 5 for Conan, it's 5 for the overall Marvel. Yeah, I'm looking for these everywhere I can find now. But talk about something that you would, if you weren't into Conan, you would just ignore that. You wouldn't pay any attention to it. You know, spine out in a bookshelf, there's not a chance you would have grabbed this. I don't mean you guys specifically, I mean Universal, you, all of our hundreds, if not thousands of fans who will be watching this video. Not a chance that you would have grabbed this at all, but I'm in love with it. It's absolutely stunning. It's so cool looking. So I want to find more. Unfortunately, now I want more Conan comics too. And I'm like, I don't need to be doing another comic series, but I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I've never seen comics in a paperback form, and I've got the digest G.I. Joes. I think there's like 13 or 14 of those volumes that are 2 comics split into 1 digest. But yeah, I've never seen a paperback, and like Adam said, color. Just never seen that.
It's like I have the Untold Legend of the Batman here, but it's all black and white. You know.
Yep, I got that floating around somewhere. Did you get that during Batmania '89?
Yeah, it's definitely that era.
That's when I grabbed my copy of that too. But no, I've never seen anything like this. It's beautiful. It's so cool looking. It's, I should have looked up. 72, no, sorry. Renewed in 78 for Conan movie. So at least 78 for it. But the original license renewed 78, but contents in it 71, 72. But yeah, I wouldn't have seen this. I remember seeing like Mad Magazine things like this.
Yeah.
When I was younger. And of course, you know, a Family Circus or Peanuts collection or whatever, but full Marvel one? No, I've never seen this.
Very cool. I've got some Conan comics. Some of that I've cut up just for the advertisements to finish my cabinet, but I'll send the ones that aren't cut up to you.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
All right, Adam. What you got, Adam?
All right. Well, sticking with comics, we might as well in interesting formats. So I was able to stop into a Goodwill on my journey, and unfortunately they didn't have any VHS. A lot of Goodwills are just not carrying VHS anymore, which is disappointing, but they did have a couple books, and one of them was a comic, and that was Spider-Girl.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And for those who don't know, Jason, I don't know how deep you are into the M2 universe, but this was Marvel did this whole idea of like this alternate reality where the heroes had either like died or grown older, and then they had kids. There was the new generation. So Mayday Parker, you know, was as she was called. That was Peter and Mary Jane's daughter. So I have the original trade, okay, that I got many years ago, and this has the first 9 issues. This one says it's issues 12 through 16, so I'm gonna have to pick up 2 loose issues to fill the gap.
To finish it out. Yeah,
I actually bought this for my daughter because I'm trying to get her into comics. I showed it to her. She's like, I hate everything Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, great. But that's fine because I wanted to read it anyway. But what she did like was Sky Dancers. This is a hardback.
Where'd you find that?
Yeah, so this was also at the Goodwill from 1996. For those who don't recall, this was a failed I mean, mildly popular, maybe action figure line aimed at girls, where you would basically pull this thing and they'd flip up, and that was their action figure. So there's a lot of interesting art in here where like they're all dancers to begin with, then they become sky dancers and they get powers. But anyway, so I gave her this, and at first she was kind of like, and then she wouldn't let me read it. But then her cousin was here this week, read it to her, and when I tried to finish it, like she's like, no, only girls can read this to me. So like, her storybook to read with mom now, I guess. I don't know, but it's anyway. It was a very cool piece of history there. And last one, real quick, I'll just show because the cover's awesome. A Mars Attacks novel. Ooh, this is like a tie-in during the era where Topps was producing a comic book, and of course the movie had come out and all that. I think this is 96 too, if I remember right. But yeah, yep, 96. So
that's just like a novel offshoot from the series.
It's all text. Yeah, expand the universe.
So just to go back for Adam's picks there, the best way I could describe the M2, and I don't know if either of you, God, I can't even talk. If either of your kids have ever gotten into it, but it reminds me of the Descendants movies, where here's the next generation. Descendants is all the Disney characters, of course. But M2, very similar to that. I got into it because they had a grown-up speedball in it, who was like in his 30s, who was mentoring some of them. So, of course, that was right up my alley. The Sky Dancers, though, there was a boy toy line called Dragonflies. There was the same idea, just pull the ripcord. Toys pretty much exactly the same, except for the colors, because, we can't have boys and girls play with the same toys in the 80s and 90s. But what I most remember it for is there was a viral video that pops up every so often of a little girl getting one for Christmas. So excited, so happy, she pulls the ripcord and it flies right into the fire.
I thought you were going to say ceiling fan. Yeah.
No, she is just devastated. And I you shouldn't laugh, but God, it's funny.
I've never heard of the line, so more power to you.
All right, Jason, unleash the beast here. Show us what you got.
Before I get into the books, since y'all are on books, I'll do some books. But so I'm in my my old department store, and I found some trading cards in a plastic bag. It's the Santa Around the World that Mickey opened to pack during the Wax Pack flashback days. And I was like, oh, these are cool. I'll go ahead and get these. I think it was like $2. And I opened the bag, and the packs were already opened. Inside. And there's like chase cards and stuff in there too. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. See if I can find a chase card. They're already open. So apparently they pulled out the chase cards, threw their doubles in there, and slapped $2 on it. So that was a lesson learned. Okay. Books. Well, first, I want to, this is hilarious. Remember last time I showed you a puzzle? Do you remember what the puzzle was? It was Where's Waldo?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I found another one. And the only reason why I get bad luck with puzzles. It says right on the box, all here. So somebody, I'm assuming, went through and did that. But I might try to, have y'all ever done the puzzle glue and tried to, glue the puzzles and frame them?
I haven't, but in storage is one that Educator did. That he did it and then realized how much space it was going to take up and was going to throw it out. I said, don't throw it out. I'll take it. And then I just put it aside and forgot about it for years.
Yeah,
but it works. It's still holding like 20 something years later.
Yeah, Steven Sapellis was a very big thing for his family. And so he has like a Ghostbusters 2 puzzle they put together that they did that and framed it, and a bunch of other ones. So that was definitely, I know, for him, a big deal.
I think I might try that, at least with the Waldo ones. I don't know how many there are. I'm going to have to look up, but that would be fun. This one also, I think, would be a good one to try to put on the wall. Stranger Things. It's the poster, and it's the poster size. So you should be able to easily find a frame for that. All right, books. Holy cow. I've got tons of books. First of all, found the Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home novelization.
They had Star Trek 5 at the Goodwill I went to. I just passed it up.
Because it's 5?
Yeah, because I have the 4 novelization. I was like, I don't need 5.
Also found Benji
Oh.
novelization. Had not seen that before. 60 cents. That was pretty good. I'm always going for the Far Side books.
Yeah.
So Far Side is just one of my all-time favorites. Choose Your Adventure, number 2.
Ooh,
Great.
cool.
But it's like the 800th printing or something. It's not. It's not one of the original. They were, printed. There's so many printings on those. I'm gonna save that one. I do collect the Garfield series, and this one I think combined several books. So
Definitely
I just love this size for all the comic. It does puts all the comic strips together, and I do have some of them on the specials. There's a small one, Garfield Goes Underground. Found a Heathcliff book, Heathcliff's Night Before Christmas. I had not seen that before. Garfield Makes It Big. So these last couple I'll show you really got me excited. Well, I did. Here's a Turtles storybook, actually. Splinter's Last Chance. I love the colors on this, and it's full color on the inside as well. So,
nice.
Nice big storybook with the Turtles. And speaking of the Turtles, the novelization of the first movie, I saw that and went nuts. I was like, yes. And it does have some pictures inside. I don't know if it's the junior novelization or whatever, but some black and white pictures from the movie. This one was the find.
Oh, what are you?
The Real Ghostbusters pop-up. A pop-up book. I had never seen anything like this for the Real Ghostbusters, but it's like a spooky birthday party theme. But instead of going this way, it pops out, as you're reading it. So that was like an instant buy, and a lot of those I found in the same Goodwill, those books. So that was my kind of book haul. What else you got for us, Kevin?
All right. Do you want me to burn through or
whatever you want to do?
All right, Adam, what are your thoughts? How many? You doing one more round, 2 more rounds, 5?
You got, take the floor.
Okay. All right. Do you guys want books first or comics first?
Comics.
Comics. All right. So with the digest, with the Conan thing, I found actual digests. Now we've all seen the Archie ones. You check out grocery store, and some grocery stores still have them. But have you seen DC ones?
Whoa.
I have a DC one. I think it might be the Super Friends.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I got Flash and his friends, and a lot. I mean, they're reprints from other books, of course. This one's from 1980, and then I have a Brave and Bold one, which Brave and Bold's a fantastic series. I like all the team up ones because you really do get to see characters that you wouldn't see usually. And this one is 82. So, I mean, we got Batman, Robin Hood, a Viking Prince, Silent Knight, Suicide Squad.
Nice.
All sorts of cool stuff in there. I mean, this one.
I got a World's Finest.
Oh, cool. You just happen to have that right there, too.
Yeah.
The Flash one has the stories on the back, but I don't know if these it's like chopped up from the original covers. I haven't done that much research to find out.
I'm so jealous. Like, number one, I've never seen those digests before. I didn't know that style existed, but I just, like I say, finding that Spider Girl was so rare for me, and you just know you are drawn to the comics. They come to you.
They kind of do, and I sent you guys a picture too of some comics that came my way, surprisingly. Yeah. That's the 3rd time that has happened in the last year. But Jason showed movie novelization. It's not quite as cool as Ninja Turtles, but I found a movie novelization I had to get. And I have not seen the movie, so I can't comment on it, but I couldn't pass this up. Zardoz.
Whoa!
Wow.
I didn't even know there was an adaptation for this. I didn't have a clue. Sean Connery and all his Vampirella glory there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It is so old. All right, so let's check. It is copyright 1974. But what gets me, and I've seen it because of all the eBaying I used to do. I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, but have you ever seen a paperback with a cigarette advertisement in the middle of it?
Never. What?
Yep.
That's ridiculous, man.
They did these for a couple years. It's a dual-sided one. Get your menthol cigarettes.
What's the print date on that, Kevin?
What's the print date? Is 74. This is first printing for it. I can't imagine they did multiple printings for this. Probably not. But when I was hardcore for eBay, picking up paperbacks all over the place, I would see those cigarette ads, and I would actually include it in the eBay listing. It has a Camel ad, it has a Kent ad, it has a Marlboro, whatever. And there are people that will purposely get these ones for the ads too. Like this one's going to be my own collection, but I mean, just the fact that it even existed, I thought, you got to be kidding me. I have to grab this.
I was going to say Paxton Hawley is very jealous right now. I think he needs to do an episode of I Read Movies on that.
All right, I got one more ridiculous one, but I'll pause for a moment. Have you give Adam or Jason another turn here?
Okay. I will go with some of my rando toys that I actually picked up this time around. Like just every once in a while, I come across them. I will say I passed up an electronic football game in the old style that was just like, beep, beep, beep. Because I couldn't tell if it was a reproduction or if it was, because it was in too good a condition to be vintage, I felt like. But I did find a vintage Fisher Price.
Yes.
You remember these. Everybody remembers these. This is
those.
Yeah.
So the Candyman. Yes, for all you Willy Wonka fans out there, Sammy Davis Jr. devotees. But it's just I had one of these as a kid, and yeah, it was just so much fun. So I had to pick that up and enjoy it. The other one I got, this is interesting because a couple of years ago at a Goodwill, I picked up another piece of this line, and that is Dr. Dreadful. Okay. This is Scabs and Guts.
They made a game?
Okay. Yeah, so I have like a set where you could make like edible gross stuff. I have one of that, but this is the basic premise behind it. And this is a little bit past my era because I think this is like later 90s, but I just had to show because it was one of those things like for Halloween, for my Halloween table, how could I not have this board on there?
Heck yeah.
It's supposed to be educational and gross, but then this is the best part. So you look at like the playing pieces that you can play as. So you can play as Guts. Guts. All right. Or lungs or whatever, they have all sorts of things in there. So anyways, I just thought that was just a really weird oddball game that maybe I'll play with my kids because everything else in there is just cards. You use like cards to move on the board and answer questions and stuff. So, and then the other one here, this for me was the biggest find of the trip just because of what I would consider its rarity and just the vintage nature of it. But that is our vintage Poopa Troopers. All right, from 1985, still sealed. If you look down here, it says 1985. This is your Imperial brand, the classic rack toys. The card isn't even punched.
Oh my God.
You see that?
Not unpunched.
So, I mean, it's a beautiful, I was like, I had these. Who didn't have these? Somebody's grandma had this in her closet for, 40 years. finally, bye-bye grandma, but then these ended up there. So I was very excited to find this. I mean, wow. Because these days, they're different. It's not the same. The goofy faces on the Poopa Troopas, and like each one's different. I mean, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So I'll hold off for now. That's all I'll show. And we'll move back to Jason.
I'm going back to music just for a little bit. But first, have y'all picked up a Trapper Keeper yet?
No, not yet.
Walmart, people. Walmart.
It's there today too. I should have looked. I forgot.
I'm taking that to work, and I'm literally going to use it for storing my papers securely at work. I'm going to go back to music just for a second because I bought some LPs. One, the fine of the trip for me is in this. But I have seen these, and Adam, like you, how many 50s and 60s records do you have to dig through to find like a good one? You know what I mean? But there are some compilations out there that intrigued me, and this was one, the True Value Happy Holidays compilation.
Huh.
True Value. I have seen other ones for like, I think Kmart did them. Some other stores that they're just compilations. I mean, there's some good ones on here like White Christmas and Ray Stevens. I didn't realize Ray Stevens was on that. Brenda Lee's, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. But that just kind of intrigued me for Christmas and True Value. I mean, come on. All right. The thing that I miss the most about not having record stores around is just thumbing through the actual albums and looking at one, wondering what this is. And it just looks cool, and I have to have it. Okay. And for $1, when you're in the dollar bin and see one of these, it's almost like an instant buy. But this is Bill Summers and the Summer's Heat Jam the Box. Whoa. And it's this huge, like boombox ghetto blaster on the cover. Just some great art. I've listened to it, and it's just some funky tunes from like the early 80s. It's kind of that mix of trying to get to hip hop before disco dies, The cover alone just sold me on this, and it still has got the plastic on there. I usually take the plastic off unless there's a sticker on there that would make me leave it on, like this one. Peter Gabriel had a sticker right there from still on the cellophane. Dollar bin. I have the album. I have the CD of the album, but it was in such good shape and come in the original sleeve. If you've got the original sleeve in there and it's $1, I mean, how can you not buy that? Another one that's in immaculate shape, the Alan Parsons Project, Eye in the Sky. Such a great album, by the way. And you just buy that for the, if you're a Chicago Bulls fan or not. This one got my wife excited. Her favorite Christmas special was The Night Before Christmas.
Oh, cool.
The mouse
so
one,
this
right?
is the story and original soundtrack of the Night Before Christmas. It was The Night Before Christmas special, Rankin Bass. That sleeve is not in good condition. And I had just never seen that before, and since she liked it, I went ahead and bought it, even though it looked a little bit like people went ice skating on the record.
It looks like the mouse from the story got to
it. Right. 2 more. I have a friend that's huge. She's going to love me for this. Huge into Dark Shadows. And I found the original soundtrack for Dark Shadows.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Doesn't have it came with a poster that would have been even more epic had the poster still been with it, but she is gonna love that. This was the one in the dollar bin that just had me over the moon. You know what I collect? The book and records. Who Loves You Baby? Kojak. Still sealed. It has not been opened. 2 stories. 2 stores, and it's the big. I don't have many that are the book and record that are the 33 1/3. The big LPs, but just the artwork on this. I'm like, who is putting this in the dollar bin?
I'm wondering who did it.
I'm definitely going to be opening it and playing it. But that was like the find. I was like, wow, perfect. And Kojak, I mean. Random, it seems like, to do a book.
Jason, let me just show you this one here because you'll both appreciate it. But this is my Superman book and record where it's quite an adventure.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so it's got the full pages that fold out. It's a full comic in there.
Wow. Yeah, now I have several that are the comic book size that are the 45s, Adam, including Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Planet of the Apes. I don't have any of the 33 and the third large records.
Now you're starting.
So, yeah. I'm always looking though. So, all right, Kevin.
All right.
Back to you.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but on one of the latest episodes of Hellions Talks, sorry, I had my guest comment on the Glow series. He said that privately he was messaged and said one of his friends said that those guys are the horniest podcasters I've ever heard. And his comment was, well, they're watching Glow. What do you want them to do? Talk about the work rate in the matches? Like, you gotta have something to talk about. So right. I'm not doing myself any favors because I have been doing a little bit of anime here and there. Some stuff I'm more than willing to say, I have been watching this and getting into it and trying it. Space Pirate Captain Harlock, I finally got watching. That's very good. Outlaw Star, someone pointed out that Firefly completely ripped it off. And I kind of agree. So I kind of want to go through that again. But I'm also watching a lot of the weird stuff. Like wrestling and girls anime. Want to be the strongest in the world.
Oh, wow.
So I found this at Thrift Store and I went, you gotta be kidding me. So it's every episode. It's just, plus the original movie. A lot of times for animes, they will have a magazine come out in Japan and they'll include a DVD with it that's just, here's a movie only in this for your favorite series. And that's the only way you can get it until they recollect it into something like this.
And Kevin, I will tell you, we had an anime comic book sci-fi store a couple towns over for me as a kid. And I would go there like trying to find Guyver tapes, but what they would rent out anime tapes. And one that I rented was the Wannabes movie. So I have seen that one.
Really? It's just like, I have to have no shame for this.
Absolutely.
I have to. Yeah, I can show this on YouTube. So here's one of the inside covers.
That was not the version I was watching was from the 80s. So it was.
Oh yeah, this is.
Ask.
Oh, here's the other one.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's a wrestling anime. There's always, because of Japan, there are always inside jokes for wrestling. Some stuff I get right away, some stuff I don't get until years later. I'm like, oh my God, that was supposed to be this wrestler who I'm now familiar with and wasn't at the time. But it was dirt cheap at Thrift Store. I looked it up online. There was no way I would have bought this brand new. Not a chance in hell. I would have spent the money on it. But for my own amusement and maybe to get a few posts out of it, oh yeah, I had to.
Awesome.
300 minutes. Gonna do it.
Anything else for you, Kevin?
That is all I got for fresh finds here.
Okay.
So I'll close out on just a few VHS tapes I picked up recently. I picked up quite a few, but I'll just highlight a couple of these. One is just because Rocky IV, is a great film, in a lot of people's estimations. Of course, I love the CBS Fox tapes, but I don't come across any Rockies in this format very often. And so I'm very excited. I actually have a full box set that was a later reissue, like late 90s. But so just to get this style with that classic poster, I was very excited about that. But also today, while I was out, I found a copy of Ghostbusters 2, which nice. I already have a copy, but I was like, if you find it in the wild, you grab it. It's like Troop Beverly Hills, Ghostbusters 2, and The Shadow. If I find them, I buy them.
Is it the same version of it with the red border?
The other version I have. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a couple of those, and I'll grab those anytime I see them too. That red border, the black spine with the white. But I can't remember who's making those, because I'll grab them anytime I see it, just like a CBS Fox logo, just like a media logo.
Columbia TriStar. Yeah. So those are big. And then the last one here, this is another one where people might be like, what? Chamber to the Board with Carrot Top. But I used to rent this a lot during my summers in the 90s. I just thought it was great. I loved it. It was goofy. It was silly. But so this is the official version, like that went out for mass, market consumption. Not very many bought, I don't think. But I also have a version that is the preview copy that would go out to the video stores where they were advertising a chairman of the board alarm clock with Carrot Top's face in the
Oh my God.
It was bizarre. But this one has a trailer for the soundtrack. There was a chairman of the board soundtrack. There was a music video. Like I was like, huh?
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, Jason, I assume you have a few more, and I'll just do one more as we wrap up in the end. But why don't you go for it?
Okay. Well, I'm going to show Adam what I picked up for him.
Yeah.
He knows one of them. He knows one of them because I sent him a picture of it. And you said that you had been working on a trade for it. So I'm just glad that I found it for $1.
Yes. Ooh, it's beautiful.
Now, is this part of the Spider-Man and Amazing Friends just kind of put together, or is this something totally different?
I think that's one of the solo Spider-Man series episodes. It may even be one of the 60s, but I think it's one of the solo early 80s series. Yeah.
And has the origin of Spider-Man and the kilowatt caper with Electro.
Yeah.
Trying to see when
that sounds like the 60s one.
Actually, it is the 60s, yeah. And it was looks like it was published in 98 in this format. So, but it does have 68 on there. Okay, so you got that coming to you. A couple unique ones that I'm sure you're aware of since you're the collector, but I had not kind of seen the setup before. Here's one from Warner Home Video. 5 Days, One Summer is the movie with Sean Connery, since we're talking Sean Connery. But just the I know why I showed you this one. This one came from LA Video.
Wow.
And I found it in Pennsylvania. LA Video has their fun little stripe on there.
That's a beautiful label. I've never seen one that elaborate before. That's fantastic.
Got their phone number. Actually, LA Video in Vancouver, Washington. Okay.
Make up your mind.
But so I know you like the Warner. So I got you a Christmas tape. Christmas Classics, Jingle Bells sing along. Okay. The unique thing about this is I opened it up for some odd reason. The tape itself, I can't see the wheels.
I've only seen one before like that.
On the back there's obviously the wheels, but they don't have the windows. I'm like, where are the windows?
Yeah, so collecting, I haven't come across that.
Yeah, it was Alpha Video distributors in New Jersey. It made the video, but not having the windows on there, I was like, this is just such a unique tape itself. Not, we all can sing along the Jingle Bells.
Yeah. Thank you. That's so cool.
And then one more that kind of blew me away too, because I had not seen this kind of format either. So we got an MGM video, Shoot the Moon. And this is a larger size. It's about the size of the Warner video, but it's got the insert cassette. You pop it out. It's got this like plastic insert, and it's got the nice MGM video. I can't get it to show in the middle there when you open it up, and the tape just kind of pops in there. Do you got any like that, Adam?
I do, and I love those. I have a whole shelf full of those because it was when movies, like you take a movie home and it's like a presentation. It's just like, here's the credits on one side. And it made it feel like an event. I love it.
It's almost if you got one of those books that you can hide stuff inside, It's kind of like that setup. But those are some unique tapes I found that I'm going to send your way. I also found a series, I think I snapped a picture of them that said Golden Grams on there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was something you could mail in from, UPC codes or what in the world, but did not pick those up, unfortunately. I'll get those on my next trip.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of movies, or did you have a few more to show?
Well, I've got board games left. So Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You show us those board games. Let's play.
Okay.
Play on.
So,
It's building.
I think I told y'all in the last video that this was such an epic find for $1. The Hotels board game in such great condition. It looks like it was, like you were saying, stored in a closet somewhere. I did snap a video of this one. I think I put up in the VIP lounge. 1313 Dead End Drive, Adam, which I think you said.
Yeah.
Just 13 at Dead End Drive. I remembered the game, had never owned it, so I was like, let's pick this up because it looked like all the pieces were there too. And I am looking through these boxes when
that's what I was gonna say. Well, if you have all the pieces to that one, it's worth a pretty penny because that's rare.
Now this one was another unique one I had not seen before. It was $1. I opened it up. It looks like it has not been played, and it's weird. It's like it's called How to Host a Murder. Okay.
Yep.
Have you seen these out? There's different episodes, but inside they have like mailing invitations that you would mail to people to invite to this murder mystery party. And the only reason I picked it up because it's Vincent Price's favorite game.
Hey! Excellent choice, Jason.
I won't do my Vincent Price impression. You'll be underwhelmed. But it appears not to have been played. It comes with a cassette too, which I thought was neat. So that might be one that goes up on eBay, but I had just not seen that before. And I saw Vincent Price on the side. And I was like, I know this has got to be collectible.
If that does go up, let me know, because there's 2 or 3 of them an ex-girlfriend left behind that are floating around somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The last one that I'll show that actually my son found and came and brought to me because he was excited to find it, and I did show this one in the VIP lounge. The Pizza Power game.
God, that's pretty looking.
It's the art on it is just glorious. And I did look. The only thing it's missing was the die. So, and I have plenty of dice.
If you look up here,
where we're looking,
I've actually got a copy right there on my shelf, right up on that's my Ninja Turtle shelf. So fun to play.
Looks fantastic. It looks unique to play. The spinner is a little worse for wear, but I think I paid $7 for it, something like that.
Yeah, it's got this cool fighting mechanic where it's like this seesaw
that
you put the dice in, you flick it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was really unique, but I think I'm tapped out actually from the trip. So what else you got for it?
Here's one more board game. This is an oldie but a goodie that I found many years ago, but this is the Murder She Wrote board game. Oh, she looks so happy to finally be able to do that. Yeah. So it's exciting as you would imagine. I feel like, I don't know how many of you are Kevin Smith fans. I'm a mild Kevin Smith fan, but I know, Jason Mewes is a huge Murder, She Wrote fan. I remember hearing on one of the commentaries back in the day. So play that with him someday. But speaking of games, I also found this little game that is movie trivia. It's a little travel game to take in the car with you. And I found it in the same place I got those Poopa Troopers. And so I thought it'd be fun real quick as we close out just to do a little movie trivia with you guys and see how.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I got to make sure I have the answer because now I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I see it. Okay. So. So we'll start. I'll go back and forth between you two. Are you going to keep score, Jason?
Let's just go for it.
Yeah, game night. So, all right, here we go. What was the goo that was created in The Absent-Minded Professor? Jason, go.
The original one, or
the original one that the remake was named.
Flubber, was the remake. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I didn't know if they were the same. I've never seen the original, but I've seen Flubber.
All right. We saw a Benji book, but here we go now. Kevin, what kind of dog was Lassie? A golden retriever, B, a German shepherd, or C, a collie?
Collie.
Excellent. You watched your Nick at Night growing up in your daytime Nickelodeon. All right. Mel Brooks was the head of a psychiatric hospital in what movie, Jason? Was it Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, or High Anxiety?
Well, I don't. High Anxiety, I guess.
Correct. Good work.
I was going to say, not in Young Frankenstein, not in Spaceballs. So I've never seen that one.
All right, Kevin, what was the captain's name in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Okay, so Nemo, Perry, or Vern?
Nemo.
Excellent. Know what I mean, Vern?
Nemo.
Captain Vern. All right. Now, Jason, who played Charles Van Doren in Quiz Show? A, John Turturro, B, Ray Fiennes, or C, Nicolas Cage?
Quiz Show, we'll say Ray Fiennes.
Correct. Good work. You guys are killing it. You guys are getting this game.
Well, you giving me multiple choice.
Yeah, yeah. Just because they have multiple choices helping a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Kevin, besides his mask, what other object was associated with the Lone Ranger? A cape, B, a whip, or C, a silver bullet?
Silver bullet.
Excellent. Yeah. I feel like somebody has to have done a mashup of, getting the Lone Ranger to go after the Wolfman at some point. Did that not happen?
If it hasn't,
it should.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll
honestly,
get to work.
Take Tonto and do like a Skinwalkers idea.
All right, Jason, what does Indiana Jones have a fear of? Do you want multiple choice?
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
All right. And Kevin, who played Arthur in Arthur?
Dudley Moore.
Correct. Oh, I have that as one of my big box tapes over here, ordered clamshell. It's beautiful.
Do you also have
first time just a few months ago?
Do you also have Arthur 2 on the Rocks?
I do not yet. All in good time. All right. Well, I'm very impressed, guys. Honestly, I mean, you did excellent. Can't stump you with this set. But hey, it was worth 50 cents.
I have picked up some games like that along the way. I actually have a Christmas trivia game I picked up just in case we want to do Christmas trivia sometime on the Retro Network. And what was the other one? Oh, I picked this up. The Game of Things. It's a relatively newer game, but it's like things that would make a good potato chip flavor. And it's kind of a conversation starter, so you can think about that one and get back to me.
Little speed dating thing.
What's that?
You can do it for speed dating. Everyone gets a card.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me yet again for the Thrift Store Horde. This was really fun. Now I got to figure out a place to put all this junk, but I truly need a bigger house. And Kevin, like you said, I'm probably going to get some shelves up and they're going to, be full in no time.
Yeah, we went up. There's no room out anymore.
That's the key. That's the key. Multiple floors. Got to get multiple floors on the next house. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the second episode of Thrift Store Horde. So we'll be out shopping. We'll be out stockpiling, and we'll see you again maybe in about a month, maybe sooner. We'll see. Just how, depends on when we can get out and everything. But we do appreciate everybody watching and subscribing to the Retro Network, TRN TV here on YouTube. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So long.